What is it, guys? I do hope you're well, and we're back with, yes, you guessed it, more Entitled Parents. You guys love it, I love it, so why the hell not, right? If you are new here, please consider hitting that like, that subscribe button, and maybe even the notification bell. Also join us on Discord, because that seems to be growing massively just lately, so yeah, get involved, guys. No, Mom, your son cannot play with our shrine. It's going to be juicy already, I can feel it. Alright, to start things off, I'll give you guys a little backstory and some information that will be useful during this story. My parents divorced about 2 years ago, and my mother fell in love with this Korean man. Now at first I didn't like him because I'm a rebellious teen, but after a while we hung out and got along really well. He's a really nice guy, and the only thing that would be considered bad is that he's very religious. Now I personally don't believe in what he believes in, but I respect his beliefs, as he does mine. So he's a manager at a local nail salon. You know, the ones with the women with the fake names and stuff? Yeah, it turns out those are actually real. And the people that work there are surprisingly nice. Now I spent months learning Korean from my stepdad, as his English was bad. Like, he'd mix up very simple words, so he mostly spoke Korean. Now while I can't legally work at the salon because of the products they use, the physical contact and the skills required, however I can help after school, which I usually do. One day this woman walks in, EP, with her son, EK, who appeared to be about 10 to 11ish. This woman sits down in the waiting chairs. We have 2 sections of chairs, right beside the door so people can get in and just sit down. She plops down and pulls out her phone. Keep in mind she has this like mega "can I see the manager" haircut. So I already know where this is going to go. Even after reading a lot of EP stories, this still surprised me. Now my stepdad asks if I can take her and see what she wants. I smile and oblige, as I love helping out. I was sweeping at the time, so I go to put the broom in the back room. As I get to the back, I notice the EK touching the shrine in the left corner. Now we have a sign on the shrine that's specifically saying that no one should touch it. This kid is playing with it though, picking it up and shaking it and stuff. I kindly ask him to stop, as he may not have known what it was and thought it was a toy. The kid drops the shrine face first and glares at me. I rush over to see if it's okay, as it's a wooden base shrine with some metal for decoration. It's fine, thank God, but suddenly I get a tap on my shoulder. Excuse me, but my son was playing with that. I kindly turn around and what do you know? This whale of a woman has her hands on her hips, giving me a death glare, visibly upset. I calmly say in my best customer service voice, "Mum, this is not a toy. It's in fact a relic." I was cut off. I don't give a damn what it was. He was playing with it. Give it back. I'm a bit flustered, but I try to reason with her. Keep in mind there's now more people sitting in the waiting chairs, and I have yet to take this woman's check-in and sit her down. I once again try to reason with her, as now my stepdad is peering at the situation, and I don't want to upset him. "Mum, please listen to me. What your child almost damaged was a religious shrine. Out of respect, can you please tell him to stop?" EP was not happy at all. "Don't tell me how to raise my child." She begins to swear at me, telling me that I'm a motherfucker, or a bitch, or ugly. I'm used to this kind of stuff. As I go to high school, I'm used to being bullied. I ask her to kindly lower her voice, as it could disturb the focus of the employees. This woman does something I've never fathomed would come from this situation. Now keep in mind I have bad acne, like it's all over my face, so randomly one could pop if hit hard enough. The EP slaps me across the face, claiming I was disrespectful to her, and that she was going to call the police. One of the waiting men stands up, noticing that some blood is now rushing on my face, presumably from the slap. It was just a pimple that had popped open, but oh boy did it look bad for her. The man asks if she is aware that she committed child abuse. EB jerks her head back and yells, "What are you, some sort of cop?" I can't describe my luck in that situation. This man would have seemed like a man with his child, waiting to get her nails done like a normal civilian. He pulls a badge from his pocket, revealing that he was from the local police department, and the woman was under arrest for assaulting a minor. EP's face goes white. After being escorted to a police car that had been called in, EK was taken home by his grandma, watching his own mother being taken away by the police. I kind of feel sorry for EK, as he was just taught wrong. As EP was being driven away, I flipped her off and smiled. I resumed work after that with one of the biggest grins on my face. Karma is a bitch. I can get with this kid. I sort of had acne when I was in like my last years of high school. Man, it's rough, you know, some of the treatment you get from some people, you know. The obvious name calling and stuff, so I can totally feel for this guy. But I like that the acne actually worked out for him in this case. Good karma, man. Being bisexual is really offensive to EPs. So a little context first. I'm bisexual, meaning I date girls and boys. I'm a male. I was for the time dating a cool guy. We resolved to drink some coffee, so we've gone to an off-brand Starbucks. I'm really open about being bi, so I don't mind holding hands or kissing in public. Now to the story. Me and my date were in a corner of the off-brand Starbucks, and we just ordered. We talked a bit, I don't remember what he said, but it was a cute thing, so I kissed him, just a peck on the lips. We didn't know that the family of the really easily offended people were on our side. They don't like our gayness. A middle-aged woman with a kid and a small bald man came to our table. EP and neckbeard, EM, Dolores Umbridge, me, a unicorn. My date, a bull. Literally my date was a 6'7" gym freak. Excuse me, her tone was so sweetly fake that I became diabetic. Could you please not do that in public? I knew what she was talking about, but to be sure, I feigned ignorance. Do what, madam? She rolled her eyes as if I was an idiot. Kissing in public. Why, I would. This is a public place, and I don't think the owner is against people kissing. I told her in a calm manner, putting a hand on my date's hand. He was gay, and he really didn't like prejudice. He was short-tempered too, so I needed to calm him down. It's not all people, just... He let the phrase hang on air, but after an awkward silence, seeing that neither of us would complete a phrase, he said, gay people. My date looked angry, but I squeezed his hand and said, you know, what you're doing is a crime, and if you don't get out of my face now, I will call the cops. I said in my firm but calm voice that EM did not like my response. What you are doing is a crime in the eyes of God. Why God someone had to put a word against gay people in the Bible? Why? I think God would be more offended by you being a bigoted idiot than he would be offended for me being gay. The manager had come to aid us. He heard the entire thing and kindly told them to get out of the off-brand Starbucks. The family grumbled but exited the building. He asked us if we were okay and apologised for that family. Now for the fun part, you thought that EPs were mad because of their child seeing gay people. Wrong. Later that day I received a message from a girl that I dated a couple of months prior. We didn't click, but we're cool about that. Begging me to forgive her parents for the incident. Yep, the entitled couple were the parents of this girl, and they were mad at me for not dating her daughter, and more mad when they discovered I was bi. In other words, trading her, their princess, for a man. So they approached my person with the intention of harassing my date, and I told her that it wasn't her fault and it was cool. Moral of the story, if you want to be gay, go to Starbucks, not an off-brand. I like the ending. How dare you waste your own money? So for a little background, I'm 19 and live on my own. I've been attending university since I was 17 and paid my own tuition and rent for the first 2 years of university. My mother and I are on okay terms now, but we've had a rocky relationship. I went back and forth on posting this story, but heck, she's a parent and she was entitled. So living in another province than the one my family lives in, I only see them a couple of times a year. I usually buy my own plane tickets to visit home or split the cost with my dad. My parents aren't together and he's happily remarried. During one of my visits, in my first year of university, I was eating supper with my mother. My brother was with us and we were talking about the first year of university. I'd failed quite a few classes because I'm in a difficult degree, and I was learning how to balance studying and living. Keep in mind, my mother has not paid for tuition, rent or plane tickets to visit. Our conversation went as follows. So me and the other engineers, you're not an engineer. Right, but at the university, we usually refer to students by the faculty, since it's quicker and it's usually clear given the context. Maybe if you haven't failed so many classes, I'd be okay with that. You can't become an engineer if you keep wasting your time and money. Now I know, that's not that bad, but my mother is incredibly passive aggressive and she talks down to me all the time. She prays to try and fix me. She gets mad about my health issues and micromanages all the time. So no, I spent 17 years too afraid to deal with her. So I'm Gucci, y'all. Should I go? The mother's clearly confused. What? I pay for my own school, I pay for my own rent, and when I fail, it's my money that's wasted. I pay for the flight to come visit, I take the time to come visit you because I love you, but you don't get to comment on how I'm living my life. If you're going to be rude, I'm not going to visit. The rest of the supper went on fairly normally, with only a few snide comments. Honestly, it's not the most interesting entitled parent story, but it was the first time I didn't let my mother bully me, and I'm pretty pumped about it. God, man. You know what feels, when it's like your own mother as well, it's got to be like the guy said at the start, he's sort of worried about posting it, but he went ahead and done it. I'm glad he did, because it's like, passive aggressive people are really hard to deal with, because it's like mental abuse in a way, isn't it? So, fair play to this guy. And it's nice to have like an entitled parent that's not fucking nuclear and goes off the rails. Let my child use your prescription swimming goggles. So this happened a few months ago when I was swimming with my family, and for the first time ever, I was able to see in the pool. I have pretty bad vision and cannot see at all without my glasses. My parents couldn't find anyone who was able to make swimming goggles in my prescription. But we finally found an online website where you can order custom goggles, and oh my god, I was so happy when they arrived. I could not wait to try them out. And of course, I saw a pool in person for the very first time. It was honestly a very emotional time for me. I was swimming around and not bumping into people like I used to, splashing around and generally having a blast while being able to see the whole time. I swam over to the fountain machines where the bubbles were shooting out of the pool and started to swim through the warm bubbly water when a mother and child came towards me in my direction. I assumed they wanted to swim near the bubbles too, so I didn't think much of it, until she spoke. The EP spoke, but I didn't hear the first time, so I said, sorry, as a way to get her to repeat. She spoke louder the second time. Can we have your goggles, please? Oh no, they're my prescription goggles. They sell others at the main entrance though. I pointed to where they were selling all the swimming equipment such as swimsuits, floats, etc. We don't have any money left. My child needs goggles, and you're a good swimmer so you don't need them. I'm sorry I can't give you these, even if I wanted to, they're specially made. I don't care if they're designer, just let my kid use them please. No, they're specially made for my eyesight, your kid can't have them. The EP grabbed my goggles and pulled them off me, pulling some of my hair strands out with them and calling me selfish as she swam away. I was now completely exposed to blindness. I could not see a thing. All I could see was blue and white, a few puddles of red here and there, but I was not able to move for fear of going too deeper and accidentally not being able to find my way to a wall to support myself. I panicked and started to try and focus, but got so pissed at myself for having such fucked eyes. I started hating myself for being born this way and hating the woman for taking them. I would have chased after her if I could see where the fuck she went. I started to cry as my eyes were extremely sensitive to light and started to feel very hot, probably also from the chlorine that was now hitting my very sensitive eyes. What felt for like an hour later, someone tapped me on the shoulder. I'm so sorry about that. Here, a man's voice said, and I felt him place the goggles into my hand. The man told me that the woman was his wife, and that she threw the goggles into the pool once she realised that they were basically impossible to see through. He was nice enough to guide me to the edge of the pool and sit down and offered me his towel to dry the inside of my goggles. When I put them back on, I saw the man was wearing a lifeguard t-shirt. He saw the whole thing happen and dove in to help me. He told me that his family gets to swim there for free, and over the months that has made his wife think she owns the place and treats people like garbage. I agreed with him there. He wouldn't stop apologising and asked me if I was injured, which I replied with a polite no. Honestly, I'm just so mad that the woman didn't even bother to give them back to me after she realised how useless they would be to her. Anyway, thanks for reading. It's another one of these parents just taking stuff and then just not returning them. The fact that the husband was a lifeguard though and didn't chuck her out himself is ridiculous, and still lets her keep coming in thinking she owns a place and putting children in danger. That child could have seriously hurt themselves by drowning or who knows what.